Hey, g'day folks, and welcome to the channel. Today I have another product review for you. It is from Carpuride, not sure how you say it. The W702. It's an Apple CarPlay or Android CarPlay, but it's a unit for a motorbike. See what's in the box. We'll look at the installation of it, and then we'll go through some of the features of it and just see what it can do. I was contacted by the company for this review. So I have not paid for this. They've sent it to me. Like all my reviews, this is my opinion. They have no say in the final review. So let's see what we've got. We have the Carpuride HD display, 7-inch touchscreen with Bluetooth and voice controls, Android Auto, CarPlay. It's apparently waterproof, which is pretty awesome. Plastic. Okay, we are well packaged with some nice high density foam. We have the unit. Very first impression is that it is it's plastic. It's all plastic surround, but it's pretty solid plastic. It's not flimsy plastic at all. Has a built-in sun visor screen on it, which is quite good. It's not like a detachable thing that's not going to fall off. It's all built into it. It has the RAM mount built onto the back. That's the unit. That's pretty solid. Pre-connected with the 12 volt lead that you would just run from your battery. Some sort of quick disconnect setting there. Yep, quick disconnect setting for the power. That's presumably so you can just take it off and take it with you rather than leaving it on the bike. Instructions, the RAM mount or similar style things. Obviously not a real RAM mount, but it will be their version of a RAM mount, and interchangeable, no doubt. A fuse, a little spanner thing, and a USB. Yeah, so a USB power as well. So you don't have to hardwire it to your bike if you don't want to. If you have a USB port on your dash, which a lot of bikes do, or near the dash, you can just plug this in and power the unit that way. That's all pretty straightforward sort of stuff. So now let's crack on with the install of it onto the bike. Now I don't know I'm going to put it on this one because you might be able to see it's missing a front wheel there. I'm getting the forks done. So I might put it on my Triumph Tiger. Back in a second with some new camera angles and we'll see about the install. About all you need to install this is a 10mm socket to get these little nut things off on the bracket there. Now, one point of interest, if you've ever used RAM mount stuff, you know these things, they're an 11mm nut. Really annoying, because who has an 11mm spanner or socket or anything in their toolkit? No one, right? So good to see that these guys have got a 10mm, just standard 10mm nuts. It's a U-bolt thing there, which has some rubber mounts on it, which is good to protect your bars, and it's basically infinitely adjustable. So just find a spot and mount it wherever you reckon. So on this bike, this is going to go about, I want it to end up about here, right in the center of the dash, so I can still see the speedo, but it's still right in front of me. Depending on the bike and the size bars, you may or may not need the little spacers. I don't need them on this bike. And that's pretty much installed. I'm going to use the USB on this bike, which is down here. We have, let me zoom that in. Boop. There we go. She's powered up already, straight away, no problems. Nice big display, booted up really quick. I'll just cable tie these power cables onto the back of the bracket there just to hold them out of the way. Yep, just check that it doesn't hit anything. Nothing does. So we're good. So now I'll see about connectivity. I think there's a couple of things you've got to do to connect this thing up. So just before I get into pairing it up to my phone and working out how the functions work, why have I chosen this, or why did I say yes to review this product? Like a lot of people, I suppose, and a lot of the guys I ride with at least, we use these things, these like Garmin Montana units for GPS navigation. You're following the pink line. Most of the time it's all good. Like, so you're out there, you're just following the line that's on here. You don't need Google Maps, you don't need CarPlay, any of that stuff. This is fine. But for those times when you do actually need to go off the pink line and just like get to the nearest town, maybe it's getting late in the day or whatever, Google Maps is great for that, what I find. But especially on the 500, I don't have my phone on the dash, right? So I can't see it. So I can get it out and I can have the directions playing in my head, but it's just easier to see it on a map. I've used CarPlay in my car for a little while now and it's great. It's just so easy, the interface is great. So that's why I thought, let's give it a crack on the bike and just see what it's like. So yesterday was a complete shambles as far as trying to get this, this thing paired to my Senna. So you're supposed to now hook this to this. It's not happening. Don't know why it's not happening. I'll do some research and I'll come back. Don't really know how it happened, but it did. So I've had another go at it. I've done this now about 6 times and I've reset it all back. And I'm going to show you the simple way to do it. The really simple way to get everything connected up. Pairing your phone to the W702 and then the 702 to your helmet intercom. Resetting back to factory settings. It's all back to normal. I've deleted the pairing from my phone. So now this is as it would come out of the box. So you simply go into CarPlay. It's saying now on your phone in Bluetooth, find it, and it is there down the bottom, that you can see the bottom one there, Carpuride, with some numbers and things in a bracket. Connect that. Just hit pair, allow, accept. All the things that pop up, there's a whole bunch of them. Use CarPlay. And we're connected. The device has gone into the CarPlay mode, so that's all done. Then to connect from here to the Senna is you go to the home screen. You hit this audio output icon here. Now it's searching for where to send the audio output. So that's to the Senna. So I have to turn this on.
Hello.
And then I need to put this into configuration menu. It's going to depend on your setting, your intercom.
Intercom pairing. Configuration menu. Phone pairing.
Okay, now it's come up here. It's found it. I select that. Wait a few seconds. This will stop flashing. Your headset is paired. It is paired. It's done. Just to test that, I can go back into CarPlay, select some music, and if I pick a song that I was playing earlier, you can hear it is now paired. And that's it. It's really, really simple to pair this all up to everything. And every time you just turn, you can turn all this stuff off and it will start straight away. It just all connects up. You don't have to do any of this ever again. Going to get out for a real world test now. So intercom's off, phone is in my pocket, and this is off. So I'm going to turn it all on. You'll see how quickly it all turns on. Plug him in first. This boots up. Beautiful big bright screen. This is on full volume, full brightness, I believe. Yeah, it's on full brightness, but you can adjust all of that. So we've hooked up straight away to CarPlay. Now I'll turn on my intercom.
Hello. Phone connected.
Phone connected, so that is that's connected. And we're good to go. So first thing I'm going to do is punch in some directions here. Oh, we've got a WhatsApp notifications come through. So directions, where do we want to go? Now I'm going to try Siri first. So, hey Siri. Now I don't know what's going on with Siri, but I have tried this once before and I said, hey Siri. And I got the thing come up and Siri worked and I could ask for directions and it all just worked via voice. I don't know what is happening now with Siri, but it doesn't seem to work anymore. I can use this one, microphone. Shell Service Station Emerald. There we go, it's taking me to Emerald, so that's what we're going to do. So I am going to hit start.
Head south on Finch Street, then turn right onto Geraldary Drive.
No, kept going, that's good. Okay.
Turn right onto Geraldary Drive. In 150 metres, at the roundabout, continue straight to stay on Geraldary Drive.
So the spoken directions are pretty fantastic. Really enjoying that, having that in my helmet. This is going to be a little bit annoying. I might turn directions off somehow. So I can do a bit of commentary as I go and talk about things on this device. I can work out how to turn it all off. There we go, I just hit the little voice thing, that should stop. Super bright display, which is great. It's very responsive to touch. Even with decent thick gloves on that I'm wearing now, I can scroll backwards and forwards with the little menu button, and it all works really well with gloves on. Scroll through the apps, and equalizer setting on this thing, so you can adjust different levels for the sound. There's some presets in the sound things as well. So there's a flat profile. So a bunch of different profiles. Okay, so it's a bit flaky, but it's kind of working, kind of. Hey Siri, directions to Emerald.
Getting directions to Emerald.
Okay, now we're talking. So I don't know what happened to Siri, why it didn't work for me, but it's working now. Hey Siri. It's kind of not working now. Hey Siri. Now all I get is a beep, but it worked back there. So I'm thinking that it's something to do with the intercom, but I'm not so sure. I don't know. Maybe I need to test it with a different intercom. Well folks, I've been playing with this thing on the bench. I'm trying to get Siri to work, and I've had success basically. Now I've had success back with my Sena, the original one that I hooked this up with. It works fine. And I've also hooked up one of the FOD Sports M1S Plus intercom to this as audio out, and it also works fine. Hey Siri, directions to Belgrave.
Getting directions to Belgrave.
And there it is. To show you back on the Sena, it's now hooked up from here to here. Hey Siri, directions to Belgrave.
Getting directions to Belgrave.
works fine. So the bottom line is it does work, it seems to work, but it's a little bit flaky in how that works. It seems to work fine if you're stopped. If the engine's off and there's not a lot of other noise around, it works okay. That's what I found. As you can see, like I've got the sun sort of behind me. The screen is completely readable, no problems there. I've even got a tinted visor and I can see all of the screen, no problems. Good. I'm just testing a phone call on this new device, this CarPlay device that I've got here. Testing that I can make a phone call through it and through my helmet intercom, and it all seems to work fine.
Great. You're a little bit blurry on this end, but
A bit blurry.
like a bit like wind noise.
Wind noise. Yeah, okay.
But I can understand what you're saying. So
Well, that's good. There you go. So phone calls work fine. Music works fine. Navigation works fine. It is only voice commands which don't know what's happening there with Siri. It doesn't seem to want to play. So one of the things that I did particularly like about this whole thing was the ability to run whatever apps you want, whatever mapping apps you want. Now obviously there's, you know, Apple Maps or Google Maps or whatever, and it's all pretty normal stuff there. But the one that really did interest me was the Gaia GPS. Now I have not played with this at all, Gaia GPS. This one has the ability to use the pink lines that I usually use on the Garmin GPS units and overlay them onto these maps here. You know, previous tracks and things that I've input into Gaia GPS, and so they're appearing. I think this might actually be a really useful app to have on this unit on the bike. But that's going to be a whole separate video, a whole separate discussion on how to use Gaia GPS via CarPlay. So there you go folks, that is my review of the Carpuride W702. Is it worth it? Well, for a bike like this that does not have any sort of you know, fancy display, this is brilliant. Like, install is fantastic, and wireless CarPlay means you can have your phone in your pocket, tucked away nice and safe, and it all just works. There's no mucking around, you don't have to reconnect things, it all just works when you turn it all on. You know, navigation apps right there in front of me, nice big bright screen, good stuff. I really like it. To the people at Carpuride who sent me this unit, thank you very much. There will be links down below to this unit, the smaller 502 version. These are affiliate links. I do get a small commission from it. You'll also get some sort of a discount from this as well. All that information will be linked down below in the description. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you've got something out of it. I did. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.